welcome back to D&D, everyone. So, last week you had continued your investigation, finding out a number of clues that had point you in the right direction. Ultimately, you suspect that the actual murderer is a person who had received a letter of recommendation to the Starwell, that'd be Ingar Bar. He had reason to get revenge on Hugo, but you're not 100% sure, so you went around looking for him, couldn't really find him. But what you did discover is that you believe a Modify Memory spell was cast on Hugo, so you went through a long rest. It is now the morning, and specifically, Graham had taken a remove curse in order to counteract the effect of modified memory. So,
me make sure I've got that indicated, but that was the goal.
This is out of character. Like, oh well, I guess we should just let this guy get executed.
No, unfortunately, I was actually going to have that come up. Graham's going to. Unfortunately, I have a really good reason why we shouldn't just let the son bitch die.
I think you should get amnesia. This is all out of character, by the way.
It is, but it would also just like the mental image of us discussing this in front of Hugo and the guy in the order of the yard. Like, no, we can't.
It would mentally break. I feel like it could mentally break him because like they know I'm in. They know I could be innocent. What's going on?
All right.
I feel an unmodified Hugo would like literally shit himself. He's about to be executed.
I don't like this spell anymore.
He keeps saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
Nah, I mean his attitude after is still who he is as a person. It's just we're gonna like undo those memories, and he's gonna be like, motherfucker.
Yeah, so guess what? You're due to be executed in under like 12 hours.
You're being executed for being a jerk crimes.
the worst crime of them all.
All right, so I guess Graham will go up to our guy from the order, whose name I keep forgetting. Sorry, guy.
Thrum.
Thrum, and say, so I've got the spell ready. Do we want to do a couple of castings of Zone of Truth on him so he can give his testimony before and after we dispel, so people get the difference?
Did you do it last night? No, seriously.
We Zone of Truth him. We didn't remove curse on him.
Oh, okay.
My thought was if we want them to see that he was enspelled, we would have him give the same testimony with the same questions under Zone of Truth.
Zone of Earth sounds awesome.
Zone of Earth does sound awesome. I want that spell.
So basically, it's if his answers don't change, he gets executed. If his answers change, they have reason not to execute him at this point.
It's something,
That's
and while we're
right then and there.
And I think the idea was while we're doing the trial, we have a couple people with detect magic who could be scoping out the crowd and looking for people who had magically transformed themselves or somebody who wasn't like a member of the town.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have the census stuff from the town, from the tax collector stuff, which was left untouched. So we have a good record of who should and shouldn't be there. But yeah, Graham is basically going up to Thrum and being like, so how do you want to do this?
Yeah, okay.
Sir Thrum describes in great detail how he would kill Hugo. No, that was... Sir Thrum just says, I should warn you, however, Zone of Truth is not admissible in a court of evidence. It can only be used to further investigation. So even if his answers do change to reveal that he is innocent, that testimony can't be placed into the record.
No, but it's there to showcase it to the townsfolk, and his confession came to you under false pretenses, which is something else that I assume within your area of the law, as long as we can demonstrate he was enspelled to believe he killed the guy, even if he turns out later to have killed the guy, you've got to actually have a full investigation, and dumb son bitch gets to live for a couple more days while that gets sorted out.
Of course. Well, sort of. His initial testimony wasn't factored into the actual trial. So it was considered to be a well-performed trial.
So how does that interact when new information comes to life that throws those answers into question?
If you're able to prove that he didn't commit the crime without the use of zone of truth, then he could receive a new trial where he will most likely be found innocent. You'd probably have to find the actual killer for that one. I am simply going to offer this zone of truth on your behalf after you remove the modified memory you suspect is on him in order to help facilitate that investigation to find the killer.
Okay.
But even if I even if you remove a modified memory and she speaks the truth under zone of truth, indicating he did not commit the murder itself, that can't be factored in. His trial will be considered to be lawfully performed, and I will be required to continue his execution.
Even if he retracts his confession?
His confession wasn't factored into the trial, so it wouldn't matter in this regard.
Out of character. This guy's fighting an uphill battle now.
The wheels of justice. All right.
It's the anti-zone of truth. Yeah, I mean, in Viderheim, like, not allowing zone of truth testimonies like in court can be useful, but at the same time you can see how they could also occasionally backfire.
Well, our plan for now would be dispelling the thing one way or the other and looking out among the crowd gathered to watch him get axed to see if we find any signs of the magic user. But it's not a great plan if 5 minutes later, if we don't come up with something, his head flies off his shoulders.
I can continue to delay, at least until this evening.
Alright.
But
well, I guess there's no reason not to dispel the curse now, I suppose. I was hoping to do it in front of people so they would
we could bring out some people. If we can at least have him testify in front of a group, that may at least reduce the pressure to commence the execution.
Alright, I'll tell you what, why don't we round up some of the witnesses from the night of, and was there anybody there who heard him saying, "I did it," when he was found?
I believe no. From my understanding, he was in a dazed state, so to speak, although from what we understand, at the time we suspected him to simply have been drunk and incapable of communicating effectively. The actual admission of guilt didn't occur until I cast Zone of Truth on him about 2 weeks ago.
Understood. Alright, well, if anybody was party of that, we can round them up, but otherwise, I would say we grab, I'm going through the notes again, we grab Bront, Grint, and Dial, if we can. Well, then again, I think Grint was a dried. Grint dried
up. Off to talk to the law.
Yeah, but we can get Bront and Dal. Maybe some other people you would recommend. You've had a couple weeks here.
What were you saying about Grint?
I think we when Fiffle went into the cabin with the guy and with Fern, didn't he basically say, like, okay, no, we can't see Grint, but here's what I learned?
Yeah, but Thrum was asking you about Grint.
Yeah, no, I'm just making sure that Graham is relaying what was relayed to him by Fiffle.
Yep. Exactly. You got it. You mentioned one of the witnesses wouldn't be able to be here?
I'm not clear on the particulars, but I don't think we could find the guy.
I believe he has
split up to do some investigating to save some time.
I believe he has a home here. I could simply go and retrieve him.
Fiffle, you were the one went going up that way. What you think?
What was the question?
We're trying to. Thrum wants to go to the Grint's cabin, and we probably don't want him to go to Grint's cabin.
Probably not.
So we gotta figure out what to tell the guy now. And Graham related everything he got secondhand, so I don't
Yeah,
know if I have
Brent
anything I can.
basically is not going to testify in any kind of official proceedings. We can go
Okay,
talk.
Yeah,
so
my understanding was he doesn't want to be associated with this at all.
Yeah, that was the impression I got from Brent.
yeah, so how do we tell
I mean, we could
Thrum that?
possibly pay Grant to be more involved. That's the kind of vibe I got from Brent. Although that opens up another can of worms. So depends on how you feel about bribery, Grant,
Yeah.
and or compensating someone for their consideration. You know, it's another thing that we call it.
I got nothing. We could try to ask him nice like to come testify.
Yeah, sure could.
I'll be right back.
I just feel like if he winds up with an official summons after, like, yeah, dude, don't worry, we won't bring you up.
I mean, if you like, I could take 50 gold from the Crossblades account and see if that would make testifying worth his while.
You know what? You might as well. Here, Graham will actually give you 50 gold. I'm down to 150.
Do we agree this is a reasonable bribe?
I'm damn well
I
better
sometimes
be.
just pull numbers of gold out of the air. So
We're trying to do him a favor here.
Thrum
is just watching all this. Like, I know this is how it works when I'm not there to see it, but god damn it.
I assumed you had like kind of separated from Thrum
like,
and we're doing like a little huddle.
Which is also absolutely not suspicious at all, but
I like that Graham is authorizing this bribe. It's I don't know, to not to touch on Deep Space Nine too often, but you know how Garrick tends to get kind of excited when he convinces somebody to compromise
their morals.
Hey, Garrick's a good character. I like it.
Garrick is possibly one of the best characters ever written in fiction, in my opinion.
Was he the one who did like a 2-minute savage takedown of a crewmate and then said, "Now leave before I say something unkind"?
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
That's when his brain implants making him crazy.
Oh, I do remember that one. That was a while. Man, I can't remember the last time. I should watch Deep Space Nine again. But
anyway.
Anyway.
Graham will just turn back to Thrum and be like, "Well, I didn't handle the particulars on asking after Grint. My buddy here is gonna go see if he can find him. Gave him a retainer fee in case we need it. You know how it is."
Yes, a retainer fee.
Listen, man, I just work here. I'm just trying to get this sumbitch from getting executed for what he didn't do so they can go back to killing him for what he did do the second we turn our backs.
Well, I did hire you. Well, technically I requested your assistance. So as long as nothing comes back to me, it will be viable.
Should be fine. This is... I gotta be honest with you, this is a slow Tuesday in terms of what these guys get up to. I'm doing my best, but I got both hands full, and I'm using my teeth.
I'm well aware your reputation precedes you. We actually have a file on your group at headquarters that has been distributed to other cities in Viderheim.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Graham just like has this like haunted look on his face.
I will say
we haven't done anything illegal yet.
Yeah,
I don't think.
we
I
totally
mean,
have.
Have we? I don't remember anything anymore.
You've done quite a few things that are illegal.
As a group, no, but the thing is, like, the law probably doesn't care. They just know that, like, 3 or 4 members of this group are doing crimes.
You burned down the warehouse, part of a quest, so technically.
We blew up the manor.
Yep.
Well, that one was a clustercluck in general. Anyway.
Look, we protected Graham's innocence.
So, Fiffle is going to go off to see if he can convince Brent to come testify, or at least be there as a witness. I guess Graham will head up to the public house and see if he can get Dal.
Oh, you're actually all in the public house currently.
Well, Graham will go and see if Dal's available.
Dal is the bartender, so he is there, just cleaning a glass.
Morning.
Ah, morning. How can I help you?
Well, we're coming up to what ought to be the end of things with Hugo, one way or the other. And as one of the people who was a witness to the events of the night of the murder, we're wondering if we could impose upon you to be a witness again, so we can see if something shady's been going on, aside from the obvious something shady going on.
Well, I'm also the mayor of this town, so I guess make a good witness, right?
I would reckon so. Reckon we
Mayor
would
Lewis.
want to find Bront again as well.
He's probably out in the ice. He gets
On
out
the ice,
early.
Yeah. Let me head out that a ways, and we'll all circle right around back here.
All right.
So
Well,
Graham will set off to do that in a way to minimize wasting these good people's times.
All right. So Graham heads to find Bront, and Fiffle is off to see Grint.
I believe so.
Okay. And we'll start with Fiffle. Fiffle, you've been to Grint's home before. It's the only one in town that you've noticed that is marked with Thieves' Cant.
Yes, I give the secret penny rats knock once more.
After a moment, you hear the locks get undone, and the door opens up. He looks down at you. Hello again.
Hello again.
Do you need... He says to you in Thieves' Cant, how can I help? Or how can you help me?
I like the idea that the phrase only works one way in Thieves' Cant. It's only possible to say, how can you help me? How to put it? So, while you were very helpful, we are going to need, or it would be even more helpful if we could get official testimony from you. Now, I know you didn't want to be involved in this, but I was hoping that this small token of our consideration might make it worth your while. As I jingle the bag at it.
He does a little... As he hears the jingle. 50 gold I hear in there, huh?
I knew that was coming.
He rolled well on his, little check.
I nod.
Like Cyanide being able to tell what flavor of Pringles it is by shaking the can.
He reaches his hand out and takes the bag from you. I could be persuaded to provide some assistance in this regard.
Delightful. Where do we need him to go?
To the public house.
Okay, so come on down to the public house at the time of when we're doing this, and we will await you.
When are you doing it?
I think we're doing it now, right?
Oh, come with me to the public house.
Okay. Give me a second. The door shuts. A few moments later, he emerges again and closes the door, and you just see him quickly lock all the locks from the outside.
Cool.
All right. Let's go. Oh, and says the Thieves' Cant. Let's keep the amount that I just earned here a little secret, shall we?
What amount? Earned?
Exactly. Perfect. You understand. And he heads on down to the pub. Well, I guess up north. He heads north to the public house.
Okay.
Going.
I'll return to the public house by a different route.
Okay. The streets aren't super winding, but you do find a different route you can go through. Doesn't take you long. The island's not big, so you both get back to the public house within just a couple minutes. Graham is going to see Bront. Graham returns to his favorite location, the
ice floe.
The ice.
He is approaching very carefully, having learned.
He sees out of the corner of his eye the location he fell through. It's frozen over again, although he's not sure exactly how strong it is.
Probably not very.
But
Grim
out on
will
the ice,
skirt the deeper parts of the ice as much as possible.
you find the little shack that Bront was in yesterday.
Okay. Graham will knock on the door.
Door opens. Bront is there.
Good morning to you.
It's you again. How can I help?
Was looking to see if you could come back to town with me for a minute. We're trying to put a bow on this whole Hugo thing, and having the witnesses who were there the first night will go a long way towards that.
I'm in a bit of a hot streak with the fish. I'd hate to lose them.
Damn. How much would you make in a good day of fishing?
Like 5 gold.
Graham will produce 5 gold.
Okay.
Thanks for your time.
Rather
I wonder if I can write
surprised.
these off on our taxes.
You don't pay taxes.
Wonder if I could write these off somehow anyway.
Graham hands over 5 gold. Bront, rather surprised at this, just takes the gold, dumps it in his pocket. All right, let's go.
All right, thank you much. Graham will return to the center of town.
All right. Oh, and actually, Graham, do me a favor. Make an intelligence check real quick. Yeah, Graham, you remember Bront's name in the tax file. You know that 5 gold is a rather significant amount of wages for him.
Yeah, I figured it wasn't a good day of.
It was a good year.
Yeah.
It'd probably be what he would be paying to in about a year's time. So you basically just covered all his taxes.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, Graham doesn't care too much about money. He will graciously and without bringing it up take Bront back and not comment on how eye-watering that bribe would be to people who are on adventures.
Without Rami here, I feel it falls onto me to mention the candles and the amount spent on them.
Those had a religious purpose, all right?
All right. Graham and Bront return to the public house, actually around the same time that Grint is arriving, followed about a minute or two later by Fiffle. Currently, it's about 9 a.m. In fact, a small group of people have gathered, no more than you would say maybe, it's easy to count, 8. There's 8 people, not including your witnesses you brought back.
Okay, good. Graham will walk in, kind of trying to do that smooth, assert control of the scenario thing. So like, morning, everybody. Actually, glad you happened to stop by. If you've got a couple of minutes of your time to spare, I think you'll see something pretty interesting in the next minute. Or I'll have some egg on my face and you can have a good laugh at me. So, if my friend, Mr. Thrum here, could recast his Zone of Truth on our friend Hugo.
He casts Zone of Truth on Hugo.
Thank you. Graham will... I'm assuming, just to expedite things, Graham will ask him all the same questions that I did when we did the interrogation, and I assume we get the same answers?
Yeah, it does take a little bit of time to get him to talk, and he insults and belittles you throughout it, mocking you for asking the same questions that you just asked, implying that you have a poor memory, and that you're senile or have been struck in the head. But eventually, you're able to get the testimony you want out of him within the 15-minute time limit of the Zone of Truth.
Okay. Graham will remove curse.
All right.
And hang on, do you need me to get the exact lettering of the spell?
No, not in this regard.
Hooray.
So, Graham goes ahead and actually.
I have a question. When he does remove curse, do any of us notice maybe his demeanor changes slightly?
Let me just actually find out how. The only thing I got to find out how long it caught. Oh, it's instantaneous.
Yeah, it's
one
literally
action.
Just a light switch.
Yep. So.
Does he change? Like he flinches, like something just disappeared?
That's
what I'm asking. Do any of us notice that, or do we
make an insight check?
Noticeable.
Make an insight check, Otto. Just reaction as you like try and notice it.
Yeah, I gotta find my character sheet. There's my character sheet. It loads slowly and surely. Where's it in sight? I'm blind.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, you actually do notice he doesn't necessarily flinch, but like he shakes his head. He looks confused for a moment as he's trying to make sense of something.
All right. Now, look over the throne. The zone of truth is still active, yeah?
Let me recast it, and he
Please
goes
do.
ahead and does so.
All right. So, Hugo, when is the last time you used your tool knife, and what did you do with it last?
I used it on a boat, but it was fall.
It was fall.
Yeah, so about a month ago, maybe 2.
All right. I assume the answer to "Where's your mallet" is still going to be the fucking Tuskies got it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Why didn't you use it?
Hold on. I'm trying. Look, just he was dead when I got there.
Is that so?
Or no, I remember now. I followed him out, and then something called me, and I went north around the front of the house, the public house here, and Ulf was on the ground. He is asleep on the ground, on flat on his face, and there's no, it couldn't have been him. He's been gone 10 years now. Is Ingar, but he's got he had a beard and everything. He was baby faced when I last saw him. And he stuck a knife in Ulf's back and twisted it, and that was my knife. And then I remember getting tossed in the cage, and that's the last thing I can. That's right. He cast some spell on me, son of a bitch.
Yep, that he did. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my displeasure to inform you that Hugo did not murder your man.
They kind of chat around themselves, but he's still getting executed, though, right?
Now, listen, I understand where you're coming from. Believe me, I really do. Just kind of gestures at the last 10 minutes of abuse he took before dispelling the thing. But here's the sticky wicket. If you're knowingly letting the guy who didn't do it take the fall and get executed just because he's a real son of a bitch, kind of gestures over to Thrum, you're knowingly forcing an agent of the law to kill an innocent man to satisfy your own grudge against him, however well-founded. I don't know about you, but I couldn't sleep with myself if I did something like that to a man just trying to uphold the law.
Graham, make a persuasion check.
I will make a persuasion check, and I hope I roll well because that's all I got. Oh, nice.
Yeah. They're like,
You didn't fucking do that, okay? You were due a crit on that.
Yeah,
It's been a hard investigation and a lot of abuse from Hugo.
Graham.
I knew it right away, like on a character, but you pieced it together really nice.
No, Graham, you've convinced the crowd rather easily that nope, as big as a prick as Hugo is, they would be basically killing an innocent man for a crime he didn't commit, and they're not willing to live with themselves for that. So,
if I can ask you for a little more forbearance, we got reason to believe that Ingar is still around in the village, probably under a magic disguise to see his handiwork, as it were.
Well, I don't think anyone else has seen him, except for Hugo.
Well, when we did some looking around, we found some signs that Hugo might have been under observation. There was a blind spot up in in the loft of his shack, and some stuff had been moved, and it made a nice little hidey hole that had a good view of the hole downstairs. Graham he won't go into everything they did, but he'll rattle it all off, and hopefully the team is using detect magic in the background while he's doing this to see
Yeah, I
if
would
anybody
have
in the
detect
crowd
magic,
is
and I would have detect
magical.
magic here.
All right. And I'm just checking something quickly.
And I would try to nonchalantly, like, like move around a little bit, just make sure I get everybody in it. But I think the room is big enough that I wouldn't have to do that. Or small enough.
I'm just checking something. Okay. I would say no. You don't see anything magical, but do give me a perception check because you are scanning the people here, the area.
Can I? Will my guidance count for this then?
Yeah, because you're focusing on trying to find somebody. You don't see a you don't see anything magic, but you do notice a at a window, uh,
Yeah.
kind of like pried itself through a small like gap in the window. You see a raven that is
Ah.
rather focused on what's going on here.
I guess I'll also do perception just to see.
Yeah, Graham, you also see this raven that is suspicious. I mean, why is a raven inside of a public house? It's kind of loud, has a bunch of people.
Now, let me see something else. I'm gonna try. Graham is just kind of in the middle of this, just suddenly gonna hit, and I am going to throw a dispel magic at the raven.
All right, let me just.
Pocket sand.
I just want to verify something. Okay, nope. You hit the raven with dispel, but kind of shakes its wings and nothing happens.
Damn. Well, still, it's
My needs came in, so I might have missed something special.
I tried to cast a dispel magic on the raven.
Okay.
Did I get any kind of feedback from the spell, or just it didn't do anything?
It strikes the raven, but it, besides squawking at you, doesn't like seem strictly like anything happens. You do see it kind of like push its way through the gap. If anybody is proficient in Arcana, you can go ahead and cast. You can do an Arcana check to see.
I wish I would do that. Hang on.
Yeah. And Kaitobot shall assist you, right?
Kaido is a little asleep at the time.
God damn it.
Oh,
nice.
That being said, Otto, you know that a familiar isn't an ongoing magic effect. It's simply a creature that's been summoned. It is magical in nature, but it's not capable of being detected by detect magic or being removed via dispel magic because of the nature of it. So
I was hoping it was actually him in disguise, but familiar was my other guess.
But it's very possible that this is in fact a familiar, just based on not only how it's acting. In fact, it's entirely possible that the person you're looking for, Ingar, is even seeing and hearing through this raven.
Okay. I'm guessing it squeezed through that hole in the inn window where it was pried up.
Yep.
Let's see if we can follow it out. Graham will just be like, pardon me a moment.
All right, Graham, you run out the front door.
Yeah, and I'm gonna see if I can get people to go around to the north with me, because I'm assuming that was the way it was facing. I want to see if we can see which way it flies.
Okay. You see it actually fly up and land on the roof of the public house.
Okay.
Based off of the familiar thing, how far from its master can the familiar go?
I believe it's.
I think I would know with that roll.
Super. I gotta check. 100 feet.
How many?
100 feet.
Okay, so he's within 100 feet of where he's sitting right now.
Yep.
Does
Can
anybody
we
look?
sweep the environment with detect magic?
Looking. Well, I guess where are you positioned currently?
Graham went around the north side, and to be clear, I don't actually have detect magic. I'm asking our teammates who do.
I do. I think it's just me
Okay.
at this point because Kaido is busy sleeping and being told by Val he's dishonorable because he's abandoned the investigation.
You sort of recall Kaido going last night having procured some fortified wine.
That's not honorable either.
He's just covered in grime when he comes back. Like, guys, it's really hard to claw through masonry with your hands, but this wine was so worth it.
Oh my god.
But Otto, with your detect magic, so where are you positioned to try and do this sweep? As
So if I look around, can I see anybody that looks?
where are you currently?
So if I walk, if I follow Graham,
Uh huh.
in which way is Graham going?
I believe to the north.
Yeah.
I will go to the south and then kind of loop. I guess the what's north? And I'll loop kind of toward the east is to cover the whole area on that side,
Okay.
toward the north.
All right. Make a perception check.
We call out Fiffle and Fern to help us plot out the whole with 100 feet radius.
God, Jesus.
Unfortunately, Otto, you're not able to see anything. Your detect magic isn't picking up anything.
Are there people outside?
There are.
Do any of them? Do I remember? I think this is going to be an intelligence, right? Because I remember I wanted to see if I could remember the faces and the.
Yep. Yeah. Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
God, Jesus.
Your attempts to try and recognize these people falls a little at the wayside. Most of them look very similar to each other. They're all kind of just bundled up in winter clothing. Hats on, gloves, and even scarves around their face to try and keep themselves warm. So it's difficult to tell who's who. Or if you've even seen them before, to be honest.
So between me and the Raven, what's the distance? Could I guesstimate?
You're probably, you suspect maybe around 50 feet from the Raven.
And this is just for my own knowledge. I'm gonna hit this button here. Cause where is it? Because I can't remember this.
Yep, okay.
30 feet. So I'm kind of zigzagging to try to keep like within 100 feet.
Okay.
Just to see if I detect anything as I loop my way to the north. And maybe every 25 feet I'll take a look around.
Okay. Give me another
another, yeah. Perception?
Yep.
That's a persuasion. Well, that's a little better.
Still, you're not having any luck seeing anything.
What am I, like on the east side now?
Yeah, I imagine you're on the east side, running to the north, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I see like what the bird is doing on the roof?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sitting there.
Make a perception check. Well, it doesn't matter. It's still a 19. Yeah, so what happens is you see Fern. You see the bird land on the roof and kind of like walk its way from the north side of the roof to the south side of the roof, while the rest of your party members are heading around to the north. You see the bird vanish.
Okay, well, I will tell everyone that the bird just vanished after it went.
Well, I think I would have noticed it because I was.
Were you watching the bird too?
Yeah.
The raven has positioned itself in order to avoid being seen by Graham and Otto, but it did not notice Fern, so it didn't realize it needed to vanish. Well, not in her sight line. So Fern definitely saw it vanish. Graham and Otto, not with those perception checks. No, sorry.
I haven't.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, yeah, Graham. Go. Well, it positioned itself out of Graham's
Yeah,
view
from the other
specifically, and
side,
then
okay.
Otto would not have been able to see it with his perception check.
So
but
the guy's gonna do a runner now.
But
This is
Fern
kind of the
did.
worst way. Oh well.
Yeah, so the bird moved to the south side of the building and then vanished. So I'm not sure exactly if the guy was running to the south.
Did you point out where on the roof it was when it?
Yeah, I
Um,
would point it out.
assuming it was quick enough between it vanishing and me being able to react to it vanishing, Graham's gonna try to dispel magic where it stands or where it stood.
okay.
That's my last third level spell for the day.
Graham, you hit that area with a dispel magic, but nothing happens. You're familiar enough with Hestia to know that familiars can get shunted into a little pocket dimension.
Oh, okay. Is it worth not casting that, or did I cast that then?
I would say you'd be familiar enough to know that it probably went into a pocket dimension, so I would
Okay.
imagine you didn't spend it.
Which is good because I expected a wizard fight at the end of this, if we find the fucker. Damn, Fern, can you get up there and see if there's anything left that we could track by?
Sure, I'll climb up onto the roof, I suppose.
Okay, Fern, go ahead and make
Yes.
an athletics check to climb up there.
This is where Kaido would just shoot you, like just launch you onto the roof with his superb athleticism.
I mean, Fern, you're pretty athletic little bunny, so you're able to climb up to the top of the roof and are able to see the area where the raven had disappeared from.
All right, and then
Well,
should I
while you're up
investigate
there,
it?
Do you see anything
track
that's
it?
suspicious? Like
yeah,
somebody?
like you've got a
Yeah,
good
let me
vantage
check
point
it
on the whole
out.
town.
Okay. What are you looking at specifically currently?
Let me look at the roof and then like around the
She's
area
Ezio.
around the roof. Yeah.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed now.
If you
Quick
want,
time event to hug Leonardo da Vinci.
hey, that's
Gonna
a good.
jump off the top of the roof into like a haystack.
Fern, give me an investigation check of the roof itself. Looking around, you don't see anything out of the ordinary. It's looks like the bird simply vanished from existence. You don't see anything on the roof that indicates the bird was even there beyond just a couple of claw marks on the actual roof.
Ian, out of character.
Yes.
If I hunter's mark the bird when it goes into a pocket dimension, does that mark vanish? No way for me to keep tracking it, right? This is for my no too.
I mean, you know enough about your spells, I would say. You can see within range and mentally mark until the spell ends. You have advantage on wisdom or survival checks you make to find the target. You would still be able to attempt to see or track it
on the wizard. I mean,
no. It would be impossible to track it once it's in the pocket dimension, but if it were to get out of the dimension, back into the material plane, you could attempt to track it again. Okay. And because you have to be able to see it. It doesn't. I think I've been treating it like you're mentally aware. Yeah, because it requires concentration. I would say you'd be kind of magically guided towards it. You wouldn't know if you're able to hunter's mark the raven, you wouldn't know if the raven is or is not within a pocket dimension. But if you attempted to then track or perceive it, you would be kind of magically guided to it.
Okay. Yeah, my thing was I wasn't sure if the pocket dimension is considered like the wizard.
No, it's not. It's not the wizard, no.
But you know what I'm saying, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Can I stand around from my vantage point on the roof?
Yep. Go ahead and give a perception check while you're on the roof. But yeah, Fern.
Nice.
You see, kind of not running, but more at a brisk walk, a figure in a somewhat tattered, kind of brown-green cloak. They have a staff. They are carrying. You're only seeing them from behind, but especially with that 27, you see rather abruptly a raven pop back into existence right on the shoulder of the figure heading to the south.
All right, I'm gonna yell down to everyone where exactly he is, and that he's heading towards the south.
How far away from her is she?
Yeah, how long is he? How far was he?
I'm not going to bother with Pythagorean's theorem, so just like, let's say you're on the ground straight line, he's probably about a good 50, 60 feet currently.
All right, guys.
All right, sprint out and run the sumbitch down.
All right.
Graham will begin running that way.
I will run that way also.
Should I shoot him with an arrow?
If you've got a shot.
Shoot him in the
Fucking
leg if you can.
Okay.
So he falls.
Can I try to shoot him to slow him down?
You can make an attempt at that, yes, if you would like.
Yeah, let me try that.
What is your bow range? I think it's within range, but I'm just curious.
I think it is.
I think it's.
I mean, she could also just shoot his leg out with a pistol.
I'm gonna try to shoot him with the longbow, but I think.
Imagine getting glocked by a rabbit.
murderous rabbit blows off wizard's leg.
I believe a longbow does give you enough range.
It's
yeah, 150. Yep. All right, so you're doing a 16. Actually, that does hit.
Nice.
So, you see the figure get struck in the leg and fall over, stumble as the arrow hits.
How close are we?
You'd be able to cover 30 feet.
As soon as she did that.
You'd be able to cover. You're close to him, so you're probably only like a good 30 feet from him as you've run from the back of the place to him doing a dash.
Okay.
The figure turns and.
I will misty step as he turns and tackle him into the ground.
Well, let's see. He gets his chance. So when he sees you get struck, he. Yep. Yeah. So he just. Right next to you, you see this twisting pattern of colors just appear in front of you. Everybody. Yeah, let's see here. So, yep, okay. So it would be Graham, Otto, and not Fern. Where's Fiffle, actually?
Chilling.
Where should Fiffle be?
I mean, Fiffle's wherever he would like to be.
Fiffle's in a corner, biding his time.
Okay. So just Otto and Graham, can you do me a favor and can you give me a wisdom save each?
Nice.
Otto is fine. Graham, go ahead.
You did.
I did 25.
You rolled higher.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that. You rolled at the same time. Well, it looks like for a brief moment you are just absolutely fascinated with this pattern occurring, but you don't. It takes you just a moment. You snap out of it, and you're like, "Wait, this is an attempt to trick me." So you're able to just shake off this these patterns of symbols.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm gonna grab him since I misty stepped right on him.
Okay, so Otto, after you get your thoughts back, you misty step onto him. Go ahead and give me a. This would be an attack roll to see if you can do a grapple.
Is it just a straight D20?
D20 plus your proficiency.
I just had a hilarious alternate idea for how we could have resolved this, but
and your strength.
It's too late now.
That's 14 plus my strength.
Yes.
17.
All right, you're able to grab him. He is going to attempt to struggle out of it. Give me an athletics check, please.
I don't know how close Fiffle is.
I believe Fiffle is in. I think he's still in the public house. He said in the corner.
We left the public house. I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah. You're on the street.
We chased his wizard familiar out, and Fern got up on the roof and found where he was.
Fern got up on the roof, following the bird.
And using that advantage, we found where he was running. She shot him in the leg, stumbled him enough for us to catch up. He tried to spell baffle us. We passed our saves.
Got it. So Piffle's kind of following behind you guys, in case you need the luck of the halfling. Um,
All right, so
Do I
Otto,
roll it again?
you are very. He's slippery, and like the fact that you weren't really expecting him to like slide out that easily, so you just weren't able to get a good grip. So he's actually going to cast another spell. Can you give me one more
Well,
wisdom save, please? Oh,
I
actually, no.
will
I'm sorry,
say,
Graham. Yeah, Graham. What would you like to do?
well, two things. One, Graham hasn't done anything. Two, if Fiffle is along, could we re-roll that one on the athletics check to hold the grapple?
I bet you could.
Yeah. Yep.
We roll it.
Yep.
Not much
Still
better.
unable to get a grip on him.
Who greased this wizard?
A wizard with a grease
Lucian
spell.
all along.
All right.
I assume we're trying to capture him alive, right?
If we
Yeah.
can, yeah. Though
Yeah.
right now we need to disable him.
I think
Well,
Aurora
we can
will have caught up
magically
with you guys too.
we can magically heal wounds. I'll shoot him with an arrow.
Okay.
And the other
Or
leg.
not with one arrow, but
In the other leg.
Like, we'll eventually he'll have to stop running because he won't have legs.
Joke's on you. He's got arms. He's a moving stump.
Well, if he goes full Black Knight, that's another.
That's another problem.
I'll have your knees.
I have no legs. I have no legs.
Ian's over here just giggling at us, like trying to catch a wizard, like we're juggling the soap in the shower. Slippery.
Oh, I do have ensnaring strike.
Okay.
Ooh.
I think
All right. So
We
Fiffle.
might have just gotten lucky.
All right. Yep. Your arrow strikes into him quite easily.
Does he
That's what I
get
do.
sneak or assassinate or anything?
We'd get sneak.
we weren't in turn order.
All right. Yeah. This is more theater of the mind kind of thing.
If there's sneak attack, then there's a sneak attack.
But
That's-
Otto is
that's not
directly
the
next.
way that I look.
Otto is Otto is directly next to him, so you'd still get sneak attack. Yeah. He's looking pretty rough as that arrow has actually struck him in the side.
Yeah.
He's gonna do. Oh, I'm sorry, Graham. You wanted to do. What were you doing, Graham?
Yes, I was actually gonna join the run up, and I was going to cast an inflict wounds on him.
Yeah.
All right.
Jesus.
He's looking pretty rough, and inflict wounds with the fact that it does necrotic damage. I would say probably could not be non-lethal in this regard.
Oh, okay.
But you could do other spells if you would like to
Yeah,
that could
right.
be non-lethal.
counterspell him.
Would radiant damage be able to be non-lethal?
I would say radiant, yes.
All right, then I will shoot him with a guiding bolt. 25
All right.
to hit, 12 radiant damage.
With that, he, especially as you're pulling your punch, it knocks him out.
Just fucking clocks him on the head, and it's like the Taco Bell dong. Ugh. Well, son of a bitch, we got him.
Indulge me, Ian, and out of character. What was he gonna cast?
He was going to cast Hideous Laughter.
I don't know what that does, but
It's
basically
another good debilitating spell.
it causes you to like fall to your like on the ground laughing at a joke.
Like laughing uncontrollably.
Yeah,
so basically, laughing gas from the dentist.
yeah.
I have seen a particularly sadistic evil character use that to make somebody laugh themselves to death.
I don't believe it wouldn't be able to work that way, as it doesn't actually inflict damage, and if you take damage, it stops the spell from working. But it does.
You would just laugh so much, just forget to breathe, and eventually just die from asphyxiation.
It only lasts for a minute, so they'd have to keep casting it over and over again. But
Some Palpatine, like that's some Melkor by way of Palpatine shit. Anyway, Graham is gonna drag the guy, like hook him under his arms and drag him back
Do we
into
have
the public
extra?
house.
Do we have extra those cuffs? Do we have any extra cuffs that stop magic casting? I'm sure Thumb has it. Rum.
Sure hope so.
all right.
I'll help Graham bring him back.
Okay. So you drag the unconscious body. You see this man now that you're like not in the fight. Yes, it's a kind of brown-green cloak. He has basically looks like he's been traveling a bunch. His once brown hair has and filled with a lot of like gray. He has a long braided beard. He is human. On him, you see really not too much. Actually, give me an investigation roll if you wanted to actually search him.
I will do that.
Sure,
Can I get
same.
advantage from assistance?
Yeah.
Yep, one of you can roll. Okay. Yeah, Graham. On his body, you find well, not his body. I guess his like unconscious form. You find a
person.
staff. You find a small metal cylinder. Looks like it has some carvings on it. You're not really sure what it is precisely.
Can I look at that? And
Yeah.
arcana it?
Yep, you can.
Do we have anybody that can help me? Yes, no, maybe.
I'm
don't-
not trained in it, and apparently Kaido is drunk
Unconscious? Okay.
in
I'll
the,
just
drunk in the
yeah.
wagon.
I'll D4 myself for it then.
Okay.
Nice.
This appears to be what he has been engraving his spells upon, similar to a wizard's spellbook.
Oh, it's like a Scrimshaw spellbook?
Yep.
Cool.
Hmm.
Well, let's confiscate that shit.
Yeah,
Take the
I'll
staff,
take that.
the-
I'll take that from
Yeah.
him.
You find also a. It looks like a small. It's a small dagger, although it is not. Pretty dull. Looks like it's probably used more for surviving out in the wilderness rather than actually defending. And you also find a small bag, a little pouch on him, containing a number of different random items, things like an eyelash, a little bit of dust you find. Looks to be a pouch of ingredients that would be used for casting spells.
Spell component pouch.
Yep.
Ingar's staff, survival dagger, Scrimshaw spellbook, and spell component pouch. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I've added those to our inventory tracker for now on
Okay.
the Viderheim resources sheet.
Plus, like, you save about 5 days of old hardtack rations.
Ingar's old hardtack rations. Why not? So Graham will drag him into the public house with Otto's help, get him up on the table. So, we lucked out there. Ladies and gentlemen, you recognize Ingar?
They all kind of gather around. Yeah, well, without the beard, that the Ingar, 10 years. I mean, there's only been 10 years. The man looks like it's been 20, 30 years.
Wizard shit.
I think otherwise. He looks like he's seen 30 years in a 10-year period.
Mm.
And he's been living rough, I can tell you that.
And we found these. Graham will show the spell book and the staff and the accompanying wizard shit. So so far our theory holds up. It looks like he got his magic education one way or the other and came back to settle the score with old Hugo.
Hedge wizard, maybe? I hear they're always looking for apprentices.
Could be, could be. But I think we have our culprit here. And I think this man might be due a retrial.
Thrum comes over. Well, we can have a trial for him, of course. I'd have to get a magistrate to come back and have a jury set up to actually perform the trial, but we can delay the actual... Well, I suppose we're going to have 2 trials. One for Hugo to see if he actually is going to be put to death for this crime, but I imagine that he will most likely be found innocent.
Now, Graham's gonna turn and look at Hugo. I'm not gonna assume you're gonna suddenly change your ways, but maybe you ought to consider all these people were more than happy leaving you to die because of the son of a bitch you've been to them. And frankly, I can't say I blame them after having known you for a grand total of 3 days. We went out of our way to help you when you made it real hard to wanna.
You went out of your way to help the fucking Tusky.
I'm just saying, when we leave this town and the law packs up and goes, you'll still be here, and so will they. Maybe you ought to consider living with them instead of having an accident on the ice as soon as we're all out of sight. I'm from a town like this. I know how it goes, and I ain't gonna cry over you. None of these people will. You want to be the man your father told you to be, or you want to be what you are right now?
You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna piss themselves, and they're gonna put up with me because I own the boats. And they all need the boats in order to make sure they can go up and down the river come spring.
Cecil makes a mental note about this guy.
Does anybody actually besides him know how to do boats? I'm just like kind of wondering.
They
I mean, I bet if this guy
Make a-
somebody else would figure out boats real quick.
make an insight check.
Yeah, I was gonna do similar actually,
Uh,
if you don't mind.
I mean, yeah, Otto, you kind of get the feel. Autogram, you get the feel people don't really know how to. They haven't been apprenticed to actually take care of boats, repairing them, ensuring they're fit for weather, storing them for the winter.
Hmm.
How much do we know? How much it costs to run the boats and maintain them, independent of the skill they do so?
Does anybody have a sailor background or guild craftsman background, perhaps?
I don't. The only thing I have is weird ghosts.
But we have picked some of this up from like Jimmy and Timmy over there.
No, you've actually been delegating it to them specifically, so you don't ever actually have to deal with it. So you actually don't know really anything about boats to an extent.
Damn.
Besides, they float in the water.
Could you guys just outsource this to somebody else and just get rid of them?
Yeah, if you could convince anybody to come to this island to do it, yeah.
I mean, if the pay is good enough.
It ain't.
People...
Why don't you just move to the big city? Join the Crossblades.
You're hiring adventurers? I mean, I loved like the city. It's a nice town, you know. We don't get a lot of people here. We trade in the when anybody comes by in the spring for the fish.
Oh, actually, Graham has the tax records. He could see how much the operational costs for the boating business would be.
Okay. Yep. So Graham, you did give the tax records over to Thrum, so he would have those. He pulls out the book. He hands it over to you.
Graham will look.
I'll look at it with Graham.
Roll to Wikipedia.
You saw not really what it costs to run. You simply see the profits, or more accurately, you see what was owed for the requested or reported profits. And from what was reported, you see that he owed, I believe it was 4 gold.
Hang on. Didn't you find money of his he was hiding from the tax collector under his mattress?
That's true, we did.
What's the law on that?
Are you asking Thrum?
Yeah, it's like refusing to pay your taxes by hiding your money.
Be tax evasion. He'd be looking at either repaying what's owed, but if we performed a trial, it could be very well that he is sent to the Rock to perform hard labor for 1 to 3 year period, depending on what the judge gives him.
Could also maybe garnish his income until it's all paid back.
That could also be taken care of if the judge is feeling merciful.
Well, consider this an object lesson in being nice, getting you further there, Hugo.
I don't know, man. If I was the judge and I had to come back here because of this, I wouldn't be feeling merciful.
Very cranky officer of the peace.
Do you suspect him of tax evasion?
We have a notion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's been swearing he's been getting ripped off the whole time, and when we were searching, we found this. Did we? Or no, Graham put it back, didn't he? Because he wanted to make sure it wasn't taken.
Yeah.
We did happen to find under his bed a little stowaway of gold. I put it right back where it came from because I didn't want it to go walkabouts. So that ought to still be there.
It's for the purpose of collecting evidence, legal, as you were investigating a different crime, so that would be viable evidence for any charges of tax evasion against him.
Is Graham a smart enough cookie to figure out, based off of what he knows of the tax rates, about how much the boating would cost?
Make a history check.
I will make a history check. Just have to make sure
Can I not assist him? But I mean, I don't know if that's good
Before
enough.
me, maybe?
But because I used to run the bar way back in the thing, I might know more about taxes.
I
If you
would.
wanted to roll again.
This would be a different country, so I would say. Plus, Graham rolled high enough. You would have an idea of like, especially looking through the book for historical amounts.
Data.
Yeah, that it seems like less taxes, like less income, are being reported, despite all the other incomes being more or less static year to year.
Hmm.
So, of the various incomes that have occurred, his is one of the few that has actually gone down in recent years. So it does appear that either he's making less money or he's just not reporting he's making that money.
Well, there's one thing, and
I guess the townsfolk would be the ones that would be his customers. So I guess you would ask them, are they you
yeah,
guys
we could figure out what
asking
his
for boats more? Or is he
rates
making it
were.
cheaper?
No, he's not. His costs charged the same as ours.
And you're still using the boats just as much as you always did?
Yeah, I'd say so. If anything, we've probably been doing more.
Well, and here's our object lesson on getting along with your neighbors, because I feel like these folks would be pretty happy to be a witness in another trial.
We'll have Hugo. It may be difficult to determine if Hugo is or not. We'll try and have a less personal jury, both for the suspect, who people recognize as Ingar, as well as for Hugo. Most likely, the two of them will be joining me in Kirog.
Well,
Where, unfortunately, this case has become vastly less open and shut.
Well, sorry to complicate your work, but I'm glad you didn't have to bloody your hands with a innocent life. However, tell you what, if you guys wind up down a boatman and you need a little help, send a message down the river to Voxfall and the Crossblades, and we'll see if we can get something sorted out for you.
Crossblade staff augmentation services. All right.
Let's just get into like the river boating business.
Right.
Oh yeah, we could do that. I mean, be a few months, till the river unfreezes.
Crossblade send up one of Piffle's street urchins to take over.
Or if you just want to, change of careers, you could always just like come down to this big city.
What I'm driving at here is you're not stuck with this sumbitch even if he walks. You don't have to put up with him just because he's the only boatman in town.
I mean, we had to so far.
Say what?
We had to so far. If you can convince somebody to move to the here, you could probably be the only boat person in town. But if you could convince them, anybody worth their salt with boats is probably in a bigger city.
Might be able to figure something out.
I'm sure we can find you something.
We can. Honestly, I'm thinking we turn this into a side hustle, like not a super high money one, but one nonetheless.
I mean, I do have my bar. Remember? We just forgot
Jackson,
about.
You want to get into the riverboating business?
Fiffle, Grim comes up to you and says to you in Thieves' Camp, I might have an idea. If you're willing to make a little money, that is.
I hate making money. Just kidding. What's your idea?
I assume you responded to him in Thieves' Camp?
Yes.
Yep. Well, the penny rats could always take over the boating business. We'd be able to then use those boats for some additional work.
Oh man, that's a great fucking idea. You guys got a guy who knows boats and isn't publicly known to be
We can get somebody.
penny rats?
We can get somebody.
Wow, that's fantastic.
I'm sure they could get to somebody just to make sure everything's covered and running smoothly.
Yes. If you can, once you've figured out who's gonna do it, send a note to the Crossblades in care of me.
He actually he hands you a letter, Fiffle. It's all written in Thieves' Camp, but it basically it's for Callista Sorrow.
Yeah.
Are Graham and I just witnessing this like in front of us?
I mean, you just see like Grint talking to Fiffle. You don't really kind of understand what they're
Grant's
saying.
talking nonsense, and you
I'm
probably
just
couldn't
gonna look at
do
Graham
anything.
I'm just gonna look at Graham and say, I think the boating business is in good hands. One way or the
Yeah.
other.
Hands.
Two wrongs don't make a right, but I find myself perilously low on dams to give.
So I will give the letter to Callista, and she will set up the voting. Is that the idea?
Yep.
Fantastic.
You know, a door is left ajar, and the penny rats come in and kick it open like the Kool-Aid man.
They just Cuzco it.
Ooh, oh yeah, I got your boats right here, brothers.
So, I think our work here is just about done. You gonna need any help getting your prisoners out of here? We still
No,
got,
I
Close to
don't.
Sorrow. Well, not close to Sorrow. I've got her name at the top of the sheet. What am I doing? Sathara left,
She is still in the cage.
and we got to bring her ass all the way to Voxfall still.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Onward.
Well, I'm going to be crossing, and I will be running up north to Kirog.
Well, we
So-
can probably travel with them until we part ways, and then we resume our trip down to Viderheim.
Well, hang on. I got to bring the map back up because I thought we were across. Like, so the original plan was
Yeah, we're
where the hell?
Partially.
Yeah, we were
Trying
going
to
to
go to
cross and go over
Talva.
here.
Nice.
And he's going north though.
But we can head south and head across that bridge, right?
You
To
mean up
Talva?
north?
He said he's crossing the river, right?
West or east? He's probably going west to go north.
Oh, probably.
We're going east and south.
if he's going to Kira, that he's going north. We'd be heading down towards Talva,
Yeah.
near Voxfall. But if I guess you're right. It does depend which side of the river he's heading towards to move that way.
I feel like he wouldn't go east and north because
I mean, he might, depending on. It looks like there's not as much developed road structure south of Kirog versus going east and then
right, but
through
aren't they having
Sultanas.
like political
Yeah.
issues?
So I guess these are things our characters would need to know before we could figure out if we can go together.
Thrum lets you know a messenger bird had arrived a couple days ago. I mentioned it briefly, but forces for Sultanas have prevented travel across the bridge to Kirog, so I'm going to have to be traveling west along
Gotcha.
more side roads up through the actual.
Yeah, I thought I had remembered that.
Yeah.
Mm.
As for us, we need to try to get
East
to
and south.
Talva,
Hmm.
or at least to Voxfall, and it's on the way.
But
You
we have
could
to, and we can't go through Drindir because there's a blown up house over there.
Yeah, we'd
There's a lot
probably
of
head
kick-
south to Sutton.
Yeah.
Well, you have a few options. You could follow the way I'm going to an extent, cross to the west, and head south, and then cross again. There is the problem of a mountain range being in the way. Alternatively, you could go across the roads to the east and follow it that way, cross the bridge to Talva. Theoretically, it isn't in any danger.
That's probably the easiest way.
But we don't like easy and we like danger. What happens if we just go straight in a straight line to right here?
Well, you would be
Probably
walking
drown.
down a frozen river, which may or may not be a problem.
Graham sneezes.
And trust me, I wouldn't trust the ice myself. In fact, with the luck I've been having lately, I don't think I am strictly pleased about going anywhere, but I have a duty to maintain.
We could go back across to this mainland where this forest is and go south down towards Stiletto, cross that bridge, and then go around to like where Sutton is. It's kind of around, but
Yeah,
there's not
I
much
feel like,
ice to walk
especially
on.
in winter, that would be a really long trip.
Yeah.
Though I might be wrong. Ian has told us the map's not 1-to-1 to scale.
Yeah, you're
think
probably looking at going down past Drindir. You're looking about another week.
What if we went this way?
Going
cross the river and then down that path between the forests
Um,
to Tolva.
yeah. So if you go
Basically-
Talva, if you go to like the Talva Sutton Pern route, you're probably looking about maybe 2 weeks.
Really?
About a week and a half, maybe to 2 weeks. You would suspect.
It is traveling in winter through fantasy like Finland and Norway.
But
Option
how is that
2.
longer than if we went down this way? Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you want to go down like Stiletto,
Well,
Tiris?
hang on. Hang on.
That would be even longer. That'd be like probably 3 weeks.
Hang on. Because I thought you said if we went this way, that would be a week. And
That
then
would be 3 weeks if you're trying to get back to Vaxfall.
Yeah, and if we went this way,
That's going to be about 1.5 to 2 weeks. And if you go past Drindir and Portis, which is the big main road, that's going to be about a week. You also could take a boat from Portis like you did previously.
We're avoiding Drindir because that's where they want to kill us.
Yeah, we also want to go to Talva, or if we can't
yeah,
do
there's
that
remember
anymore.
there's a thing they want us to inspect underneath the Starwell.
Ah,
We do also have a prisoner to escort, so we want to go as
Mhm.
fast and uncomplicated as possible.
Yeah, that's also the thing.
Good old fantasy logistics.
What?
What is it where a 3-minute fight takes 5 hours and a 5-hour hike takes 3 minutes?
Yep.
So regardless, the shortest way is to go across the river to the east,
think
Shortest
so,
way
yeah.
is to go, across the river to the east.
and then I guess we can decide when we get to the checkpoint, like because if we're gonna pass Drindir and just come back to Tolva for the thing that they want us to do, we're probably gonna just have to double up and just push right past Drindir and just get as much time between us as possible.
I think the best way is go east, go to Talva, go south to Sutton, then go east to Voxfall.
That's what I think. That's
Mhm.
the safest way.
Yeah.
And then we can decide at Tolva if you want to do that, or maybe the magicians can, the finger wigglers over there can keep our prisoner intact while we explore for them, investigate. Or maybe there's an order of the yard that can help us there and watch her while we do the thing.
Maybe. There's no easy way to do this, but I think that's probably our best bet.
So to Tolva, the Tolva route then.
Yeah, east. So I guess we need to arrange travel from the island to the east.
I'm sure any of these guys would help us get across the river, and then we're on our own.
Well, we did save Hugo's life, so
But we also put Hugo that he'll go away for us.
that is
For
true.
a while.
We are going to solve their Hugo and boat related issues. We're just also going to open them up to petty crime. Oh well. You work with the tools you got, and the larceners you know.
We did the best we could.
Ian's just laughing at all this.
Well, this goes on. Sir Thrum heads over to the unconscious body of Ingar.
You need a hand patching him up?
No, I have it. He places his hand on his head, and you just see like a little light glow, and Ingar slowly, eyes flutter open, sits up all of a sudden, but Thrum kind of keeps his hand on him. We've confiscated your magical items. You're a suspect in interest in the murder of Alf Dale. Kind of just looks around over at all of you, over at Hugo. Hugo, you could definitely see the hate in his eyes as he eyeballs him. No insight check needed for that one.
Piffle blurts out, "Ha! You thought you got away with it!" In mockery.
He looks to you all. My mother has a cabin here I've been staying. Could you check in with her before you leave?
I'm gonna insight that.
Go ahead.
That sounds like an obvious way to get blown up.
But
As far as you can tell, it's hard to get a read on him, really. Oh, Fiffle, you wanted to insight as well? Yep, difficult to tell.
I hate the dice sometimes. I mean, thanks for the nat 20s, but also just gonna walk in there and get delayed blast fireballed.
I can't tell if he's lying or not, but I personally wouldn't take a chance going anywhere that guy sent me.
We could leave her a letter.
We could leave her a note. We have hauled your son off in irons. Sorry, the crossroads. Sorry, not something.
All right. So what exactly do you want?
She's not well. Just don't tell her what's happening to me. Just tell her I'm traveling again.
We'll think about it.
I was amused by this disconnect.
I saw that pop in.
Yeah, I just saw
So
that.
I was like, huh, what happened? And like, oh, the charger fell out. What the hell?
Oh no.
Yeah, if you weren't here when it fell out, he asked us to bring word to his mother and not tell her exactly what is going on with him getting arrested, just saying he resumed travel, and we failed some insight checks to see if that was totally a revenge fireball or something.
Yeah, he's definitely sending us to an empty shack with a bomb in it. That's my.
Can I insight check that then, since I would have done it?
Go ahead.
Hang on, let me.
Time for another sub 10 roll.
I'll try my best to appease you guys. So let me get back here.
I have a good insight check, and then I just roll like shit on it all the time.
It happens.
Nice.
Otto, honestly, you get the feeling he's telling the truth. It's a mix. A lot of shame you can kind of feel in it, like just seeing it in his eyes.
Graham will look at the others and see if anybody's like, hey, you don't have a mother in a shack here.
They all kind of look around. What do you want from us, exactly? He has a mom. His pa passed away a couple years ago.
Alright. Well, if I get blown up, whatever.
Well,
Graham's at that stage of the investigation. I'll go bring word to your mom. At least I can do.
You get blown up. That's life.
I mean, as long as you're in town, Mr. Thrum, worst case, you're wound up prosecuting another murder. Graham is just like completely cavalier about the prosecution.
I'm gonna like straight face tell Graham is like he wasn't smart enough to leave town. He wanted to witness the execution. I don't think he was smart enough to make a redundancy plan to kill you in case he got caught.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Ingar speaks up. You don't know what he cost me, do you?
Well, he cost you an apprenticeship to the Starwell. We know that much.
More than that. Going to the Starwell, I could have had a job in any court, any city in Viderheim. I could have got my parents out. Instead, I wound up as a apprentice to a hedge wizard who was less than informative.
Well, you clearly learned something.
Yeah,
maybe they won't.
Too late, unfortunately. And too late to get my vengeance.
Well.
First rule of vengeance is don't get caught.
I tried my best. You really screwed that up for me.
Why did you stay here then? If you knew he was,
I wanted to watch.
You would have not, if you weren't here, you would have not have been caught. If you weren't caught.
Yes, I'm aware of the irony. I wanted to watch his head fall from his body. A far nicer death than what my father suffered, a slow, lingering death from disease. Something he wouldn't have had to deal with if I could have brought him to Kirog or Vaxfall or anywhere, really.
All right. I'll check on your mother, and I'll see if there's anything I can do for her. I won't touch on the circumstances of your going away.
Hugo's the boat guy whose job we're causing to be replaced, right?
Yeah.
Yep, this is Ingar's mother he's asking you to check on.
Ingar was the actual murderer of the tax collector.
Right, but Hugo is asshole boat guy who caused him to lose his apprenticeship, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Piffle will quietly mention that don't worry, Hugo's going to get his.
We'll see. The evidence, Sir Thrum speaks up, the evidence is a bit limited for actual tax evasion. We'll certainly attempt a prosecution for it to see if it occurs.
I predict that all the evidence required will find itself into your hands, sir. Just a. I'm just feeling positive today. That's just what I think.
I can tell you if the crown needs me to testify against the son of a bitch, you've got me anytime, anywhere. But for now,
under consideration.
Ingar, I'll check on your mother for you. I'll do the needful, and just as a professional in these kinds of things, no matter what someone does to you, don't hold on to revenge. Revenge makes for angry spirits, and angry spirits catch a lot of people in their net what don't deserve it.
He just kind of mutters to himself. Goes quiet. Sir Thrum speaks up. Anyway, I'm going to release your prisoner back into your care, Sathara Leth.
She's like, that's me.
So let the record show that I am no longer responsible. He goes to take out a pouch. He goes to reach in his pouch, and like a rip forms, and like all the things that have been held inside. A jar of ink, feather, paper, all falls out. It's like, blast! It's been happening constantly. Anyway, prisoners in your care now.
Can I insight that?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it's annoyed that it's happened again.
Specifically, like, bags keep ripping. I feel like there's some kind of chicanery afoot.
I couldn't tell you.
And I'm just hyper-vigilant.
I'm sorry, Mr. Graham. I wouldn't be able to let you know one way or another. But anyway, I'm going to be escorting these two back to Kirog.
All right. Graham is going to go see to Ingar's mother and see if there's any magical clericy assistance for illness that he could render.
Okay. Dahl gives you directions down to where the mother is staying. And if you go there, you see it's basically just another cabin, a little smaller than the rest. Looks like it has been in somewhat rough shape over the years, and there's really... You do see that there's smoke coming out from the chimney, however, so it looks like a fire's been started inside.
Okay. Graham will knock on the door.
No response, but you do notice that the door is not locked.
Graham will open it slightly and kind of call out a hello.
Opening it slightly, nothing happens. Calling out a hello doesn't net you any response. But inside is a single room. You see a small fireplace set up. There is an old woman sitting in a rocking chair. She has a blanket across her. She doesn't really seem to notice your coming. That's what you just see initially from opening the door slightly.
Okay. Graham will look around, clear his throat as he opens it a little wider. Ma'am, hello, excuse me?
Make a perception check.
I'll make a perception check.
Can I make one also?
Rolled a very bad perception check.
Yeah, I mean, anybody looking in can make a perception check if they like. Otto, I mean, Graham, you're a little, like, you get hit with a little bit of smoke from the actual room itself, so it's a little difficult as your eyes watery. Otto, however, the room, there is a bed set up. It looks relatively new compared to the rest of the house. There's also a sleeping bag on the ground next to the bed. A table with a bit of food that has been relatively recently made. You can see it still looks like a thin stew or a porridge. It does look like a person has been living in here besides the actual woman. The woman herself does not respond to you. She seems to just keep staring at a wall, just kind of rocking back and forth on the chair.
This is depressing.
Yeah, he was an asshole. Um, can Graham investigate the woman's condition and figure out if any of his spells might be of assistance?
This would be a medicine check.
Do we have anybody trained in medicine?
No, I'm a +3 on it though. You're probably a 4.
You could just certainly try and see what happens.
This woman is dead.
Can we do it separate ones?
I would say if you're both checking her over, one of you could do it with advantage.
Okay, you can go again.
I will go again. Eh.
Well, you can re-roll that one at least, if Fiffle so desires it.
Yes, I desire it.
Reroll.
All right, Graham. This woman appears to be in a state of maybe early dementia. You would put it. Or actually, considering she doesn't even seem to really notice you that much, you'd put it to more advanced, yeah.
Probably nothing magic can do to help at this point.
Not anything you currently have access to.
Okay.
How old does we think she is?
Put her in about, honestly, 50s.
Rough. Graham is gonna speak very softly to the woman, even if she's non-responsive. Tell her that her son has to go away and sent him to check up on her. Just let her know that he loves her and he's going to make sure she's cared for, but he can't be here right now. He's got some wizard business to attend to.
Ingar, is that you?
I'm a friend of Ingar's, ma'am.
It's so good to see him again. He's always such a lovely son. He made me some breakfast this morning.
Are you hungry now, ma'am?
No, I've had enough, thank you. Have you seen my husband? He hasn't been around lately.
No, I'm afraid not. I must have just missed him.
I hope he comes back soon. It's good to see Ingar again. I hope he comes back again soon, too. It's been cold lately, don't you think? Ingar got a nice fire going for me. Always such an attentive son.
Grim will check on the fire and add logs if needed. Maybe check those smoke ventilation.
The chimney looks to be recently cleaned. Firewood looks like it's been freshly stacked. Looks like this house probably hasn't seen a lot of care taken to it for the past few years, but has within the past probably week or two seen a lot more care done. You see more recent repair work to holes in the wall and the ceiling. The firewood has been freshly brought in and cut. You also notice a small bag of money on the table. It was hidden in a small pouch.
Graham is not going to fuck with the money.
I'm gonna go with Piffle did not come inside. So. No worries there.
But she continues rocking on her chair and doesn't really seem to notice you anymore.
Okay, Graham will finish doing senior care checkup stuff that they teach you in cleric school, and then when he heads back into town in the public house, he's going to let him know that Ingvar's mother is in a bad way and is going to need somebody to take care of her. And if they need money to do that, he can give a little more while he's doling out his income.
Doll's at the public house is like, oh yeah, we have people check in with Nadia every once in a while, take care of her. I mean, try to take care of everybody in town the best we can. Not as a ton of money to go around, but.
How much would help take care of her for a little while?
10 gold?
Graham will give 20 gold.
Oh. Yeah, well, we could buy some more supplies come spring. Definitely make sure she's taken care of. I'll have somebody go by and, check in on her.
I appreciate that.
Every day, I'd say twice a day or so, right?
That sounds good. Graham taking care of senior living arrangements for hospice care. D&D is about escapism.
D&D is about me hurting you all in ways you can't possibly imagine.
I'm a writer, Ian. I can absolutely imagine.
You can't hurt me.
Anyway, with that done, Graham will, if Ingar is still there and hasn't been taken away yet, we'll let him know she's going to be in good hands.
Ingar has already left with Thrum.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's that. We'll have to get back across the ice and be on our way.
All right. Let's see here. Okay. Well, currently it's only about 10 a.m. as you haven't spent too long doing this, so you still have a good bit of light.
Graham is gonna see if we can enlist help from the locals to cross the ice without risk of fucking dying. And we've got
out of character. Maybe we should just leave Kaido sleeping here.
wake some guys?
So funny, we just forgot about him.
Guys. We've got Sathara again, yeah.
Yep.
I support it.
You guys are real assholes. You know that.
Who told you to sleep all day?
Count Druncula over here.
All right.
Yeah. So I guess we rouse Kaido in whatever phase we have him in.
Kaido is successfully roused from his sleep. Guys, you wouldn't believe it. I had this crazy dream where Val kept yelling at me to wake up over and over, and I was going to miss something.
Don't worry. You didn't miss anything.
We're heading out of this capital town.
Oh, good. Is Hugo dead? Did they cut his head off? That guy's a jerk.
No, but he's going to jail, or he's going to trial for...
No, I'm gonna... I was like, Kaido, you're still dreaming. You were the one that was executed.
Wait. No, my head's on my shoulders. I can tell that much at least.
You're dreaming because you were executed.
These are the last 5 seconds of your life blown up.
You're on the other side right now, Kaido.
Make a deception check. Kaido,
I want
surprisingly,
persuasion on that. What happened?
Well, I mean, you're literally lying to him. I mean, there's no persuading around.
Persuade him because he's got the brain power of an ant.
It's still a lie.
I mean, knowing Rami, he would probably roll with it like he instantly believes it.
Yeah.
Although, oh my god, I'm dead. This is how wait.
This is how you died, buddy.
No, it's been longer than 5 seconds.
What happened?
He's like, he counts. He does like a 5 count. It's been longer than 5. This is... Otto, you're a dick.
You're on the other side, Kaido.
You're a dick, Otto.
You're in the spirit realm. Why do you think Graham's here?
Did they kill Graham? Did they kill you too?
No.
Is that why you're here with me?
To save you. We're talking to you through the.
But why are you here then?
Speak the dead spell.
Heroes and Arcana check. That's not how Speak with Dead works.
How do you know?
Because
you don't know anything about wisdom stuff.
He actually did roll an Arcana.
Can I roll Deception for that one? To contradict
sure.
his Arcana, or do I
just roll?
Or can I Arcana the Deception the Arcana?
You can roll another Deception. So what do you tell him? What do you tell him?
They were talking to him with Speak the Dead because he was sleepwalking and then admitted to killing the guy before he got here. And they just had enough and just executed him. And Val's now looking for a new owner.
Oh no. He falls to his knees. No. He stops for a second. Val says you're lying. Fuck you. Fuck you,
Get
Otto,
up,
and fuck
you.
you.
Lazy asshole, and get going.
The
Nothing
entire
against-
public, all the people in the public house have seen this and judged you all for it.
I don't care.
Graham just shakes his head. All right. Let's see if we can get some help getting back across the ice. Anyone here who could give us a hand with that?
Yeah, we got some sleds we could go across the ice with.
If you'd be so kind. We'd appreciate that.
Doesn't take long, but they are able to bring out a number of sleds, and at the eastern bank of the river, they kind of put the sleds down. They're like, yeah, we'll give you a push, and it'll take some weight off of the ice, so you're not crushing down onto it. Actually, one thing is, Otto, do you have Sir Reggie out?
No.
Okay, so you don't have to worry about the horse.
No, I'm gonna summon him at the other side.
Okay. All right, and so they have the sled right there, right at the base. Yeah, we'll give you a quick push, and should get you mostly across. You might want to have maybe somebody on the other side with a rope who can also then pull you.
Well, Kato, you got the flying boots. You're up.
He flies to the other side of the river.
With a rope, buddy.
I know. I like how for most other people you wouldn't put that detail in, but for Kaido you have to.
He just kind of puts his hands on his hip. I'm on the other side. Fuck you, Otto, for telling me I was dead. I believed you.
You know, I'm picturing Val just going, Kaito, he's messing with you. Please.
That's basically what happened in the background, yeah.
Kaito, why are you so gullible?
It was a good deception roll. But it wasn't going to match scrutiny because it was,
It was so out there.
It would work for a second, but you can't tell a lie like so obvious or easy to disprove.
I know. I figured it was just to get a reaction out of him.
Yeah. That being said, the reaction is currently sulliness.
Just sulking.
Salty.
Would it help if I said please? Because we got to go home, man.
He flies back, gets a rope.
For the rope, we can bring her back and you can get paid, and then you can have money to do stuff again.
He grabs the rope. He's like, I could cast Firebolt under you while I'm pulling you. And then you all fall in the river.
And then
Just to know.
Executed for murder.
That's only if they catch me.
You're not exactly a sneaky
Hey,
person.
Kaido, I'll give you $10 if you get us across the river.
Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Gives him 10 copper.
Flies over. Wait! Val says I should get the money from you first, Fiffle.
What does Val know? It's a sword. I'm your friend.
Has Biffle ever led you astray?
Well, there was that one time he told me I should bet on black, and it turned out red, and he said it was like a
That's
75%
gambling.
chance.
But that's gambling.
But he said I should trust him, and I did.
And he was disappointed that you didn't win. Just as much as you were.
All right. Pivot hands him 10 copper.
Aw, I should have been more specific. Well, 10 copper more than I got.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think because Robbie puts his sheet through D&D Beyond, which I don't have access to,
We
You'll
can
really
put a
get
note
10
on
copper.
we'll have to do it next time.
Next time.
He grabs the rope, and he's going to give a quick pull. I think that's only... it's like a 17, I think, with his proficiency. With them both pushing the sled down and Kaido on the rope, he's able to pull you, at which point the sled gets halfway across when one of the struts snaps, and the sled kind of... The wooden corner hits, and it kind of spins around on the actual ice, coming to a stop at the eastern bank of the river where Kaido is.
Hooray.
Yeah. Would you look at that?
All right.
Aurora kind of. Do you ever see like a dizzy dog? That's how Aurora acts.
Oh no.
Do an animal handling check for Kaido with Aurora for that. Actually, wait. I have access to the sheet. I can do it. Where is he? There he is.
I think it's gonna be on D&D Beyond, so it's actually gonna be like a D20 plus his Wisdom, which is -1. Oop. So a 9, or no, actually it was an 11. Yeah, there you go. So a 10. How does Aurora act, Lena? With Kaido's dizzying performance to her. Oh, Lena, you may be muted. I'm not sure.
Am I muted? Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yep, we can hear you.
I'm not sure.
Ignores Kaido, his existence.
Sneezes on him.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Lifts her leg up and pees on him.
Oh.
She can't do that. She's a girl.
It's a spirit. It can be whatever it wants.
I'm committed to my ability to pee on you.
Yeah.
I suppose
God damn it.
if she wanted to, she could find a way to pee on Kaido.
I don't think she's not gonna pee on him.
She's an animal of commitment, focus, and sheer I will find you, and I will pee on you.
All right, but you are on the other side of the river.
Hooray.
All right.
You don't see the main road, but you know it's somewhere to the east. The sun, with it being 10 a.m., is still to the east a little bit, so you'd be able to guide your way that way. Oh, my dog is barking.
Get on the road. Might be a good break place.
I have a spot I want to break.
Crap.
He's gonna
Those
put us
mean
in
bad
peril
things.
on the road and then break.
I'll summon Reginald,
Okay.
Peril sensitive sunglasses.
and then I guess we can go off.
Takes about 10 minutes, but it does take literally 10 minutes. But you summon Sir Reggie.
Ian, did Thrum take the wizarding stuff from Ingar, or do we have it?
No, he took it as evidence, so he has that.
So I will take it back off our sheet. Alas. Oh well. At least we managed to keep the wizard before that got any more of a shit show.
He rolled well on that hypnotic spell he cast.
Yeah. I was waiting to roll terribly because I'm good at it, which is usually how it goes.
That's exactly what I was waiting for, because we both had the check mark for the wisdom.
Yeah, like, you have a +7 save. Would you like a 1 or a 2?
I'll take a 3 today, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll head towards the road, I suppose.
Okay. It takes you about an hour to make it from the actual, especially trunching through snow, it takes you about an hour to get from the riverbank to the actual road itself. Putting you actually about here.
Since we're in the area between Drindir and Sylvanas, I guess we should probably keep an eye out for any soldiers or bounty hunters or stuff.
Make a perception check.
I will.
And I gotta close Kaido's because that would be a terrible perception check.
Okay. Yeah, Graham. Actually, funny enough, while you're looking around, you don't see, but you hear in the distance, traveling up from the south. Sounds like marching.
Uh-oh.
Soldiers!
How
Y'all hear
far
that?
can you tell?
Could
Tell
you-
Kaido to fly up in the air and see.
All right,
Yes, we could. Just try not to be spotted. They will probably.
Yeah.
guys, relax. I'm very stealthy.
Okay, let's guys, let's get off the road.
Graham double
ASAP.
checks his spell component pouch for the diamond dust for revivify.
As soon as Kaido says that, Piffle ducks off the road. And,
Yep. I take
Yeah,
Reginald.
we're not
and-
gonna be on the road.
Yep,
off
I'm
the road.
taking Reginald and we're getting off the road.
Like the hobbits fleeing the ring wraiths.
All right. How far off the road are you?
Enough that the road is barely visible, and it would be. I don't know. I guess I would look for something that kind of dips down.
Okay. Everybody. Fifth already did the stealth. Everybody else make a stealth check. Kaido. Actually, I should have access to his sheet. He probably is.
I got an A.
It's just
Where is Stealth?
that's Kaido's.
Oh, God, that would have been a good one, too.
Surprisingly, Kaido's pretty stealthy. And let's see here. So Fiffle 22, Graham is 8, Fern is 13, Kaido is 18, surprisingly,
Wow.
and Otto is 10. So yes, Kaido lands. Guys, there's a lot of soldiers on the road, like a lot of soldiers.
Headed our direction?
Yeah, headed north.
Yeah, that's good.
What banner are they flying?
Well, you can take a look in a second, because as he says this, you see shoulder to shoulder, kind of forming a long line, a number of soldiers. They are wearing, armor. They have weapons at their side, spears, swords, and one of them in the front is holding a banner that you would recognize as being of Drindir.
Well.
Hmm.
So we definitely
We're off to the side of the road, stealthed, right?
Yep.
Let's keep a very low profile here.
They are marching. You see, looks maybe like 100 or more soldiers as they are just marching by. And as they're marching over like this road, someone yells, "Hey, we're over here! Come get us! We're over here!" And you look to see Sathara Leth just shouting as loud as she can, and we're going to end it there as the soldiers
we were going to forget about her ass.
turn to look at you all.
Fuck you, Sathara.
And we'll pick this up next week.